PUBG Esports fans, I'm your PUBG Esports guide Annie, and I'm here with Paperthin.
What's up, guys?
It's been a very long time since we have shared previous PUBG Esports news. How have you been?
I've been good, very busy, but I'm good.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about the PUBG Global Series 3, but before that, let's wrap up what has happened in PUBG Esports in 2023. So first, in the PGS 1, 17 Gaming finally won that trophy first time in their career, and in PGS 2, Sonics have won.
Two champions, Sonics!
Yeah, it's really exciting to see two teams that were powerhouses of their regions be able to come through and win at those big events. It was really exciting for the fans too. And then also we had the APAC teams, Cerberus and Daytrade, really playing well last year. Yeah, they may not have won event, but they looked really, really good. Overall, their firepower is tremendous, so everybody's really excited about these teams coming into 2024.
Cannot get that.
The PGC 2023 went to WEIBO, and it was first time in 3 years that Korean teams won the PGC, right?
Yeah, it was a really dramatic win. What an awesome team they had. They played so good in the finals. Really a special moment to be a part of that.
And 17 Gaming was, again, really close to winning, but yeah.
They're always really good. I mean, they're always right there. They're such a strong team. Incredible players on that team, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if 17 wins another event this year.
Yeah, I'm sure that they'll come strong this year too. So now we have to talk about the PUBG Global Series 3, which fans would be anticipating is the first PUBG Global Series of 2024. PUBG Global Series 3 will be held in Shanghai, China from May 20th to 26th with a total prize pool of $300,000.
So we've got 24 teams that are going to be coming to compete. Still should be a great event. A lot of familiar faces, a lot of our best teams once again are going to be there, and some new faces, some new teams. So it's really exciting to have this event now, finally in Shanghai.
Yeah, so we'll have 10 global partner teams as well as 14 teams that qualified from the regional series. PUBG Global Series is very simple this time with group stage and final stage, and the teams will compete in the group stage for 3 days, and only the top 16 teams will advance to the final stage.
Exactly, and we'll be playing across 4 different maps. Erangel, Miramar, Tago, and Vikendi. As usual so far this year, we've seen these maps across all the regions. Now we're gonna find out who can be the best team in those final 3 days when we crown our champion.
So let's find out who will be the champion of PGS 3, the very first event of PUBG Esports in 2024. So 10 global partner teams have secured their spot in PGS. Previously, we had 8 global partner teams, but now we have 10, and we have expanded global partner teams in APAC region. So new coming team is PUBG Esports and Daytrade Gaming. Welcome! So these two teams from APAC region, Daytrade Gaming and PUBG Esports, have been showing wonderful performances in the global events, and I think fans are really expecting these teams too.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with Daytrade, a team that's been together for quite a while. They have a ton of experience at global events. You're really excited about this team if you're a Thai fan. They are really, really consistent. Yeah, last year maybe not the results they wanted in terms of the global events, but I think with their consistency and everybody kind of sticking together, I think they should be a really strong roster.
Next is PUBG Esports from Vietnam. I think if APAC region has a chance to win the global event, I think it would be PUBG Esports. How do you think?
I agree. I think this team has tremendous firepower. It's just a matter of being consistent in the finals, right? We saw them so many times dominate in the group stage, have unbelievable moments. Everybody's going to remember Tycon's play from last year. Himas was insane last year. It's just a matter of them getting to those finals and performing at their best, and then they can absolutely win a championship.
And PUBG Esports won this event out of all APAC teams.
They are definitely going to be hungry to do really well at PGS this year.
So next is Sonics, that we all know of. They were PGS 2 champions, but after changing the roster, they didn't do that well in PGC 2023.
Yeah, I think obviously their results were disappointing for them, for sure. I think still trying to figure out how to get everybody on the same page, get Kickstart really integrated well with this roster. Still a bit of a work in progress, but you can see that the potential is there. Like, their damage numbers are really, really good across the board. So this is a team that I think it's just a matter of time before they really pop off.
So next is 17 Gaming. the PGS 1 champion and the runner-up for PGS 2023.
Yeah, I think these should be one of the favorites for the tournament. They're an insane team, especially internationally. I think most people would consider them the best Erangel team in the world. They are definitely going to be a threat. Everybody's going to be picking these players on their fantasy rosters. It's going to be really high expectations for them.
And let's see if 17 Gaming can earn another title in PGS. So next is Twisted Minds from EMEA region. This team is well known to be very consistent in this same roster, but this year they have brought example from Navi.
And this is a player who is extremely highly regarded for his fragging ability. We already saw it in the EMEA League. He was doing really, really well. This guy has tons of experience, has won a championship. He's an insane player, so I think this makes a lot of sense for Twisted Minds, who's always been really close to winning one of the international events, but has come up just short so many times. So maybe this is the player they need to get them over the line.
So let's see if Twisted Minds can finally hold the trophy this year, starting in PGS 3. So next is Navi from EMEA region also. This team was the PGS 2022 champion, but all the roster has been gone, and this is now newly formed Navi.
You know, this roster coming together, there were a lot of question marks about it, but getting third in the EMEA League was really impressive. DFX was playing really well, you know, formerly of the WU, a really strong performance from him. I think this is a team that is going to have some questions about them as well coming into PGS, but who knows, with how they performed in EMEA, they could definitely do some damage.
Next is 4 Angry Men from China. Surprisingly, Godfrey is back after the ear break last year, and he's recently performing in PCL as 4AM.
Yeah, this is a team that has a lot of potential. We've seen some big days from them in their regional league in particular. At the global stage, yeah, definitely disappointing. You would think with HS and ZP on there that this should be a pretty strong roster. You know, Wang Zai as well from infantry. I have high hopes for them, but with Godfrey taking some time off, obviously a legendary player, but can they really get it done with this roster? We'll see.
Next is FaZe Clan from EMEA region. FaZe Clan tried to work out with this current roster last year, but didn't end very well in the global stage.
I think FaZe has a lot of potential, and I think they know it. They've been talking about publicly how they're not as consistent as they want to be. James has been really, really good this year so far, so I think definitely this is a team that if they can get it all together, we saw at PGC that towards the end of the year they got 6th place, they were playing much better. It's just, can they find that consistency in time for PGS?
Next is Genji, the gold partner team from Korea. This Genji is very new, and fans were not expecting a lot from Genji before the BWS started, but they've won 2nd week and 3rd week before the finals, and they showed that they're still the strong Genji.
I mean, Barpo last year was fragging out of his mind. This year, he's still playing very, very well. Tosi is really stepping up for Genji. Rex and Adder, the old teammates from T1, looking strong together. What really impresses me about this team is their teamwork. They play really well off of each other, so I'm very excited about Genji this year.
Last but not least is Patrick Road from China. Para wasn't performing well in PGS 1 and 2, but after changing the roster, they have proved themselves in PGS 2023 ranking 4th. And Exif is always a best player, one of the best players in China and in the global scene, and is still fragging out in PCL.
Yeah, he's amazing. I mean, there's no doubt about him. He is still the consistent performer for that squad, so they should be a threat again at PGS 3.
So let's move on to the teams that have qualified from the regional series. First is from APAC region. First team would be From the Future. This is the Indonesian team, and it's been a while since we had Indonesian team in the global events since PCS APAC.
I mean, this was definitely one of the biggest surprises, a very welcome surprise for sure to have an Indonesian team back at a global event. There's some players in here that we know a little bit about, but they've never had like strong performances at global events. Certainly they're going to be a dark horse, but hopefully they can perform.
So next is 3 Thailand teams. We have a lot of Thailand's teams coming in from the qualifier. And first is Arena. I think some of the players are very familiar to the Go fans, and I have Laritz is a twin brother of Flash in Day Trade Gaming.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I mean, those esports families, they've got a lot of good players there. So I think, to me, this is a team that, yeah, didn't do so well at PGS 2 when they made it last year, so they made a change. They bring in Jacob. He looks really good. He is by far like one of the strongest fraggers in his region. So this was a huge pickup for them. Got them back to an international event. Let's see if they can continue to build on that momentum.
Next is Armory Gaming. I think global PUBG Esports fans would be familiar with this team name, but the players are quite new to us.
Yeah, these are some players that we're not going to be super familiar with at the global level. Still, potential is there. I mean, you could see it that they were fragging pretty well during the PTS and during the APAC qualifier. So I think certainly anything's possible with these Thai teams. Like, we know that they have a lot of cracked gamers. It's just a matter of putting it all together for these global events.
It's quite same with the Valley Thai Esports, the next team. Do you have any information about this team?
Well, this was pretty crazy. I mean, they took down Magnetic Thailand, which is Escalusia's team, in the very last match of the day. They got a chicken dinner to take that final spot. So this is pretty crazy for them. What a way to get here. A lot of new players in terms of global stage. Kiss and Latte looked really, really good. So, it's exciting to see these new teams here. Again, we're just looking to see how they're going to perform against some of the best in the world.
So let's move on to the EMEA qualifiers. First to say is former Mad Bulls and now picked up by Virtus Pro. If you look at the players, there are very familiar names here. Ibiza and Quizzy and everything.
Yeah, exactly. This is a team that a lot of EMEA fans in particular are going to be very familiar with. I think everybody knows Ibiza from his time on Team Liquid, but they played extremely well. Lucarux in particular was insane during the qualifiers. So this is a team you got to watch out for. There's a ton of veteran presence on this team.
Yeah, ranking second in this competitive region would prove themselves, and let's see how they perform in PGS. So next is Hull Esports, the famous Turkish team. The familiar player, Code Marco and Kepa, has joined this team.
Yeah, and they were really big additions to this team, right up there with Ruin in terms of the fragging power. So all of a sudden, you went from a team that was maybe kind of, middle of the road in the international events that might start really pushing towards like the top 5.
Next, we have 3 teams from Korea who have qualified from PUBG Weekly Series. First to start with is Kwangdong Fix, with Salute coming in from WEIBO.
Yeah, no doubt. This was a team that had very high expectations. Looked a little shaky at the beginning of PWS, but over the course of the season got much, much better. Their results were incredible in the finals. This is a team that has tremendous firepower from top to bottom. No doubt they are going to be a threat at the global stage.
So next is Diplos Kia also struggled last year and formed totally new team with Seoul from Danawa Esports.
They picked up who is by most considered the best player in the world. So this is definitely a team that are going to have tremendously high expectations for. Bringing Star-Lord in as your primary IGL most of the time. It looked a little shaky again at the start, but towards the end, it really started to come together. So this could be a scary roster, no doubt.
So last team from Korea is GNL Esports. The players are all new to the global stage.
Yeah, this is the team that surprised me the most, but in a very good way. I've been watching, Roy Hammer and Stella for years in the PWS. They've always been kind of middle of the pack, close, but not quite able to reach those higher stages. But now they finally kind of put it all together, bringing in this young player, Young, who's been a nice fit for them. But really, those veterans have been fragging out and carrying GNL to strong performances in the PWS.
Next is 3 teams that qualify from PUBG America Series. First is Team Falcons, who have ranked first in recent PAS. Team Falcons have picked up the entire Luminosity gaming roster with Flood, Mime, Brillo, and Snakers, and with his players, there's no doubt.
Exactly. I mean, this should be a very strong team. They performed really well in group stages last year at times at the international event, so now it's just them getting into those finals and then performing really well. I think everybody knows they're capable of it. We've seen it so many times. It's just getting there and then performing is going to be the big question, but certainly they're capable.
Next is Shoot to Kill, and TSM have picked up this team again for PGS. Team members are all familiar, right?
No doubt. This is a really, really good team. I really like Purdy Curdy as the IGL. Bringing in Sparking has brought a tremendous boon to this team. He has incredible firepower, as we've seen time and time again, both regionally and at international events, so this is a team to fear for sure.
Last team coming in from Americas region is Legacy, with young, talented Brazilian players. And even though the team was third, Gizera was a kill leader in PAS3.
Yeah, he's an insane player. Coming into PGC last year, he was a player that everybody in Americas was talking about, really expecting big things out of him and Legacy. Didn't quite work out at PGC last year, so now we come into 2024, and hopefully this team can perform even better than they did.
Next is teams from China, one of the most competitive regions. The first team is New Happy, who secured their ticket to PGS 3 by winning the recent PCL. New Happy seemed to struggle after winning PGS 2021 a bit, but they came back and proved themselves in PGS 2023 by ranking 5th. And bringing Longscar to the team this year made them even stronger. They've won both PCL Spring regular season and the Grand Finals. And the well-known key player of the team, Ming Ming, is still on his fast form, ranking 1st and 3rd in kill ranking for regular season and the Grand Finals. Let's see how Longscar perform in his new team too, and see how New Happy can rise again in the upcoming PGS 3. The second team to qualify from China is DD Team. They finished 2nd in the recent PCL. This team performed in PGS 2 last year, but beside that, they don't have any records in global event. However, bringing Shen, the super rookie of PCL, was a big change to the team. Shen was the kill leader in PCL Spring Grand Finals. His kill ranking rivals were Ming Ming and Axlef, the veterans in the scene, which makes us to expect even more from Shen. Let's see how DD Team perform with its new roster in PGS 3.
Look, we always know that the Chinese teams are competitive at the global stage, so we're really looking forward to these two teams coming into the event.
The first step of PGS 3 would be group stage, and the group distribution has already been announced. How do you think about this group?
I mean, they're all so close. Like, just looking at them, it's an insanely stacked group for all three. I don't really see a group that stands out to me as like the group of death that we usually talk about. Every team is going to have a really difficult time getting out of these groups.
Yeah, the three groups seems very even, so I think the 3 days of group stage would be really competitive. So next, can we guess who's gonna be the PGS 3 MVP? The PGS 1 MVP was Seoul from WEIBO Esports, and PGS 2 was Tiggleton from Sonics.
I mean, it could be Seoul again, who knows? D Plus is there. They don't look as strong as Danawa did last year, but who knows? I could definitely see maybe Axlef from Petrichor Road really popping off. He's definitely a candidate. I could see Example from Twisted Minds having a really strong performance just like he did in the EMEA. There's a ton of good players out there. Maybe somebody from the Falcons comes through and has a really good performance. There's so many good players out there. It's really hard to choose who's going to be the MVP.
Yeah, and I think Himas would also have a chance to become the MVP if the teams at PUBG Esports stay still till the end in the final stage. Yeah, so please stay tuned till the end to find out who will win the MVP in PGS 3. It's always very hard to see what's coming in PUBG Esports, but if there are teams that have high possibility to win PGS 3, which teams that could be?
I'm definitely keeping my eyes on 17 Gaming again. I think they've got a really strong chance. I think this may be Twisted Minds time. This feels like their best opportunity to win a global event. They should be one of the strongest rosters for sure. And then one of the last teams I'm looking at, I think this may surprise some people, is actually Gen G. I know they had a rough finals, but before that they were really dominating. The teamwork is incredible. They're so smart. They're really good about their positioning, when to take fights, when not to take fights, things like that. They trade incredibly well. I'm really high on this Gen G team actually.
I think teams from APAC regions will have chance this year as they're coming in as the global partner teams too. Especially Cerberus Esports from Vietnam being so consistent in this region and in the global stage, I think they might finally have chance in PGS 3 too. So we've been talking about the participating teams and key points about upcoming PGS 3, and before wrapping up, I want to talk about Fantasy League, your favorite.
Absolutely it is. I think for us casters, we definitely really enjoy the Fantasy League. It gives us a lot to talk about and to think about with the player.
So this time in Twire Fantasy League, we can change the pick every day, so stay tuned for every match and every day, and we'll have a total leaderboard for PGS 3 and 4, and if you win the first place, you can win the prize, the gaming chair. So don't miss the chance to earn that prize too. We also have PGS merchandise that can be purchased online. You can check out in the PUBG Esports online store, so don't miss that too. So this is it for today. PUBG Global Series 3 will kick off on May 20th in Shanghai, China, so don't miss it and stay tuned for all 6 days of matches and check out which team will be the first champion of 2024 PUBG Global event.
Obviously, I'm really thrilled for this event. It's always cool to get that first look of the teams of the year, to see where everybody's kind of at, to see what they need to work on, to see who's going to be our favorites as we get towards PGC towards the end of the year, so certainly going to be really exciting to check out all the action at PGS 3 and 4.
More information and contents about PUBG Esports and PUBG Global Series will be on PUBGesports.com, so please check out, and I'll see you in Shanghai. Bye-bye!